back to Cooking with the Cooks. Hope you enjoyed the last recipe, which was fish cakes. Today we're going to do something completely different. Before we start, a big hello to Sarah Latimer, or Madame Latimer, in France, and a big hello to all our students who are going to attempt the Yorkshire puddings at some point. Good luck. Today we're doing an apple crumble. I said yesterday I had loads of apples in the fruit bowl that were getting past the sell-by date. So I just want to use them up at this time. In the current situation we find ourselves in, it's good to use up what you've got. I have nipped out and bought a couple of Bramleys as well, but it doesn't really matter. Once they cut up, it'll be fine. So about 1.5 kilos of apples. Optional, the next bit, which is I'm just going to put some lemon rind in with the apples as I'm stewing them. Just gives a nice fresh fragrance, but you don't have to do that. I'm also going to put a bit of vanilla essence in as well. You don't have to do that as well. So apples, about 1.5 kilos. Flour, about 100 grams of plain flour, about 50 grams of cubed butter, this is for the topping, and 150 grams of caster sugar. If you haven't got caster sugar, normal sugar will do. We're going to put about 100 grams of that in with the apples, and the rest we're going to use for the topping. I've also in my store cupboard found some porridge oats that will be nice in the topping as well. You'll need something to cook it in, that, and something to serve. I'm going to serve mine. I found this in the cupboard, I think it's still in date. Let's pretend it is, yeah, just. So a little bit of custard to serve it up with. So we're going to make delicious, scrummy, hot apple crumble. My next job is to peel all these apples and cube them. So I won't bore you with that, I'll come back when it's done, thanks. Right, we've got all the apples chopped. I've saved one, just to show you really the size that we're looking for. It'll take longer to cook the bigger they are, obviously. We want them all about the same size, so I've made all mine around about that size. Now you can do them in slices if you really want, but make sure they're thick, or you'll just get a mush at the end of it. So last bits of apple going in, and then a couple of bits of lemon rind. Now I'll use that later for gin and tonic, so it's fine, we're not going to throw that away. Please remember to take these out at the end. Last thing you want is anyone getting one of those when it's served. And a little bit of vanilla essence. Now we've got 150 grams of sugar. We want about 100 grams of it, so if you want to measure it out, that's fine. If not, just stick it on in and have a guess. I'm going to stick that out. You need a lid. So the lid goes on. That goes on for about 5 minutes until the apples are soft. So I'll pop that on. And let's make our crumble. So apples in, crumbles. And I've kept the butter in the fridge because it's easier to crumble when it's cold. I've cubed it as well, so it's easy to do. So we're going to put our butter in. We're going to put the remainder of our sugar in, around about 50 grams, and 150 grams of plain flour. Now, we just really need to get stuck into this. So the idea is, in your fingertips, get this to sort of a breadcrumb-like consistency. Shall we do a fast forward bit? Okay, let's go. Hi, the crumble's done. Come and have a look at this stuff. So it's a bit like fine breadcrumbs, and that's just fine how it is. But I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit with some porridge oats that I found in the cupboard. So I like my crumble nice and crispy, so good. This will just give it, you can put a nice crisp on the top. You can put things like crushed up biscuits on it and other stuff like that if you wanted a little bit more texture. So we've got that done. The apples are ready. They've been on for around about 10 minutes. And I did actually put a tablespoon of water in just to let them down. So if you look at those, they're still quite whole. Some have mushed up, some are quite whole. So that's exactly what we're looking for. Now, let's not forget our little bits of lemon rind. So when we get this out, we're looking for them. There's one. And there's another. If there was a third, somebody's getting a surprise. So, we'll place it in our pan, in our bowl. Now that'll be fine on its own. If you want a lovely apple crumble, that will be absolutely marvellous. But again, I like to use things that we've got to make it a little bit special. Went to the freezer, found some frozen mixed fruits. Now it's got strawberries in. I'm not going to put strawberries in. I'm going to put some blackberries and some raspberries in there, just to make it extra special. Avoid the strawberry, I think. Push those in. They'll cook when it goes back in the oven. I've set the oven to 200 degrees. And we're going to cook this for about half an hour until it's bubbling and the topping's golden. When I was in the fridge getting the butter, I noticed this. This was the caramel sauce, if you like, that we used for the panna cotta the other day. And it's still fine to use, so what I'm going to do is just doll up some of that on as well. So it'll be almost like a toffee apple crumble. So the basic apple is absolutely fine to use. If you want to make it a little bit special, just add some stuff in. Be creative. I think this will work. I'm not 100% convinced, but it's another element that makes the dish special. So that'll all spread out in the cooking process and we'll get that toffee apple type flavour. So that's that. Crumble. Just evenly over the top. Make sure it's all covered up. You should have about 1/3 crumble to 2/3 fruit when it's done. Now some people at this stage put a little bit of butter or sugar on the top. I'm just going to leave this one as it is. So make sure it's all covered. There we go. So we're going to put that in a preheated oven for about 200 degrees for about half an hour. We're going to keep an eye on it. You'll see all the apples start bubbling. You'll see it bubbling through the top, and at that point we'll know it's ready. So pop back in half an hour and we'll serve it. Right, well here it is. Come and have a look at this. I've let it cool down a little bit because when it comes out the oven, first off, it's like molten lava. You can never eat it. So it's been cooling for about 2 or 3 minutes. To serve it up, we're just going to have a little bit of custard. Now I like the contrast of cold and hot, so I'm going to use cold custard. If you want it hot, just heat it up. If we've got time, depending on how long this quarantine goes on for, I'll show you how to make proper custard or creme anglaise. So I'm just going to put just a pool of custard in the middle. Found some strawberries in the fridge, so just going to put a strawberry to make it look nice. There we go. And then we're going to get a lovely scoop. Now I'm not going to use too much because we're going to have this for our dinner tonight. But I'm just going to take a tiny scoop of this and pop it on. Oh, look at that. Toffee sauce is in there, crumbles on the top, nice stewed apple. Looks fantastic. So, if I can taste this without burning my mouth. I'll have a taste. I love a crumble. So, we've got apple crumble with, I've put some toffee sauce in and some other fruit as well, like raspberries and blackberries in there. Serving it with the custard. Looks a bit hot. That is lovely. That apple is still a little bit firm, but soft enough to cut through. The other fruits in there giving a little bit of flavour, and that toffee sauce, which I didn't know whether it would work or not, is coming through really, really well. And just sweetening it all up. It's a fantastic dish. Try it at home. Tomorrow, we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to make some honeycomb or cinder toffee. Then we're going to coat it in chocolate, so it's a bit like a crunchy. So what we need, some golden syrup, some sugar and some bicarbonate of soda, and if you want to use a chocolate, some chocolate as well. So we'll see you all same time tomorrow. Keep watching, keep sharing, keep liking, but most of all, stay safe, stay indoors and keep cooking. Bye.